Welcome to the Handyman Robot update for today, which is February 22nd. I've been getting a lot of questions about this US dollar Japanese yen setup. Now, it's nothing to be concerned about, first of all, but let's talk a little bit about what happened. We had a buy trade on the US dollar Japanese yen yesterday, and it stopped out almost immediately, actually, because we had this big, massive move down and then all the way back up again. That's a little bit disappointing because it would have gone to profit if it had stayed in and we didn't have this big tail down here. But regardless, not a big deal. Then we got into a second buy trade, which was at the second trade size, which is one mini lot. And that one also stopped out overnight. Now, we were going for a very large profit target on this second trade. That's how the Handyman works. The Handyman Robot will place a first trade, which is really small, and if it stops out, then it will place another trade. It doesn't have to be in the same direction. It won't be. It doesn't pick the direction based on the first trade. It picks the direction based on the next Handyman setup, and the next Handyman setup happened to be a buy setup. So this setup was looking for a much larger profit target because we had stopped out of the first trade. That's how the Handyman works. Whenever it places its second trade, it's still looking for the same multiple of the ATR, which is times 2 in most cases. So the stop loss was still 2 times ATR pip amount. But the profit target, see, for the Japanese, for the US dollar Japanese yen, it is 6 times the ATR. Now that may seem really excessive, and it may seem a little bit drastic to try to go for 6 times the ATR, because it might take a long time for that trade to actually close. And I understand that. However, now we have a third trade that we'll be looking to set up. And on these particular pairs, like the US dollar Japanese yen, the British pound Japanese yen, the British pound Swiss franc, the euro Japanese yen, and the Canadian dollar Japanese yen, for those particular pairs, moving 6 times the ATR usually doesn't take very long. In fact, on the US dollar Japanese yen, in particular, if we went back just a little bit in time, let's see, back to February 9th, somewhere around here, we had a sell trade that happened. Yeah, right here. Yeah, this is it. This was a sell trade that happened. This sell trade happened to be one mini lot. I got out of this one mini lot trade like right here just because I saw that I was in profit by a lot and I was like, whoa, that's really cool. But look what happens after I had gotten out. I mean, we went up just a little bit, but we never went back into loss territory. We never even went back to break-even territory. We came down here. This was the profit target down here. Let me highlight this right here. This was the profit target. We didn't hit this profit target for 4 days, which this was over a weekend, by the way. So we weren't even trading during the 10th and the 11th. So it really only took 2 full days for this trade to close out on February 13th. We'll even call this 3 days. Do you know how many pips that was? One mini lot at 205 pips. That's $205. I could have made $205, but I got out of this trade too early because I got a little bit nervous, I suppose. But I also just saw the profit and I wanted to get out of this trade before the weekend. But had I stayed in there, I would have hit the profit target down here and would have just blown this trade out of the water. That would have been awesome. But I didn't. I didn't wait. Instead, I got out of it. And that's a little bit disappointing. So, why do we wait for such large profit targets? Because they pay off. So that's why we have a third trade size inside the Handyman Robot. We have this Z lots, which is considerably larger than Y lots, because occasionally we will have a first trade that stops out, just like here. Then we will have a second trade that stops out, just like here. And then we will have a third trade. Now, occasionally we will also see the third trade stop out, but that is why the stop loss remains a multiple of 2 of the ATR, whereas the buy or the profit target is a multiple of 6. Because when we finally hit that big winning trade, which we have had several times over the past week and a half or so, 2 weeks, yeah, week and a half. When it finally hits that, it has made up all of the losses plus a considerable amount. That's how the Handyman Robot works. So when you see this, don't get disconcerted, don't get upset, don't get nervous. This is actually a good thing because it means that we're going to be coming up on a trade very soon that will open up, and it may take days for it to finally make it to profit target because the profit target will be so big, but it will make up all of what we lost on these trades and some extra. Through the testing and the trading and the live trading and everything that I've done with this robot, which has been substantial, we know that occasionally we will see losses with this robot. In fact, probably more than occasionally we will see losses with this robot. Now, granted, all the trades that I've seen placed have been, not all of them, but a lot of them, most of them have been winners. So going back to this first one right here, this was a winner. This was a winner. This was a winner. This was a loss. It was only 2 micro lots, so we didn't lose much. I think we lost like $18 on that one. And then we had this 1 mini lot trade. Then we had this, which was also a gain. And now we finally had a loss and a second loss. Now we are looking for our next trade, and it will be substantially larger in size, and it may take a little bit of time for it to close out, but it will make up those losses pretty quickly. That is all for this Handyman Robot update, and this is also the Handyman Robot training video to show how this robot actually works. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.